So I want to jump in and talk about what's called the broken rung theory. But before I jump in and share that with you, because some of you may have heard of it, you may have heard of it at a high level, or you may not have heard of it altogether. And I want to educate you on what that is. But first, I want to say that I am a huge advocate for closing the gender disparity gap when it comes to women in leadership. So, and I'm going to give some groundwork, so lay some groundwork and foundation so that you have that in terms of data. So right now, we know that 79 million women are in the workplace currently. Many of them are millennials. Hey, shout out to millennials. And 30% of that 79 are women that are in C-suite executive positions. So that leaves about 56 million women still that we know 9 out of 10 of them, 90%, want to excel to the next level. That just means promotion. And 75% of them want to step into a senior executive leadership role. So that means 42 million women currently want to get to a senior executive role. One of the things that is stopping them, and that is another glass ceiling, is what's called the broken rung theory. The broken rung theory, there was a report that was done in 2023 from Lean In on women in the workplace. And one of the things that it uncovered is what's called the broken rung theory. And the broken rung theory is, imagine a career ladder. So you imagine this ladder and you look at the different steps. You imagine the steps on that ladder. Well, the first step that's on that ladder is broken. And when you think about that in terms of women elevating, that means that when they try to move from an entry level position to their first management position, there's a disparity there. There's an issue because maybe their manager doesn't see that they're ready, or they haven't been prepared, or there's no one advocating for them to get to the next level for whatever reason, right? And there's accountability on both parts. There's accountability in terms of women. Hey, we've got to step into the role and act like a leader and take on those positions and those responsibilities, because what we are is what will prevail, right? We've got to understand the areas where we need to enhance our skills, where we need to focus and understand where we are strong and where we can stand to make some improvement. And then organizations, of course, recognizing that this broken run theory exists and being able to fill that gap, because over the next 5 years, 1 million women could be stepping into positions of leadership with the recognition of the broken rung theory. And so I want to just share that information to say that this is one of the reasons that is really holding women back from being able to step into leadership positions. And there are ways that we can address this. And so there is coaching for women to be able to manage this, right? To be able to understand these are the steps that I need to take. These are the skills that I need to enhance. This is what I need to focus on so that I am ready. I remember when I wanted to step into my first executive position, and I was ready. When I tell you I was ready, I was ready. I was walking the talk. I was dressing the talk. I had taken every training you could think about. I was at a high level. But at that point in time, right, the understanding or the perception was, you're too young. You've got to pay your dues. You're not ready for that type of responsibility, even though I was taking on that responsibility. And so there still remains to be this perception, and recognizing that it exists because there is unconscious bias, right? There's that perception, as well as mirroring and making sure that you are prepared for taking on those responsibilities is where women can really focus. And organizations, right? And that's where being able to bring awareness to this theory, as well as the other disparities that exist for women being able to climb the ladder, that those are the things that have to happen. That awareness and that intentionality on how to bring these women up, on how to ensure that the broken rung theory is not taking organizations by plight, which is causing them to lose out on financial outcomes for their organization, losing them to not attract top talent in terms of bringing in diverse perspectives to solve problems and to make certain decisions, because we know that all of that decision making and solving those problems with a diverse perspective is going to produce an outcome for an organization that would not exist if it was homogeneous. And so all of this ties into how women can, one, address the broken rung theory and do everything that they can do to excel, as well as organizations recognizing that it exists and being able to tear that thing down. So I just wanted to share that information with you and recognize that, ladies, if you want to excel and you want to get to that position and you feel like you're in this situation, continue to build your skills, continue to take bold steps, continue to advocate for yourself, promote yourself, build your brand, be bold, and do everything that you can do. So then when a position comes up and there's a comparison on maybe a counterpart that maybe might be older than you or whatever the case may be, you become the person that is undeniable because you've already been doing the job. Because obviously the responsibility you've been taking on is something that has gone unnoticed. You become the person for the position. And for organizations, it's recognizing that this exists and being intentional about putting in framework, about putting in sponsorship programs to be able to have supervisors and managers recognize that this exists and pour into those women who want to rise to the top, right? This is shared accountability.